Kroger Tenderay Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. Ladies, isn't it a grand and glorious thrill to hear the family praise a special dinner of yours? Of course it is. And you can bet that compliments will come fast and furious every time you serve Kroger quality beef. What a tasty treat. Tender? Yes, ma'am. Delicious? Yes, sirree. Why, it's just brimming with flavory-rich juices, with delicious tenderness. Just think what a wonderful thrill it'll be for you to surprise your family with a thick, juicy steak, or a crusty brown roast of beef. Or perhaps the folks at your house go for savory beef stew, or boiled beef with horseradish. Well, no matter which main dish you choose, you'll find the delightful goodness of Kroger quality beef will please the entire family. Remember, Kroger quality beef is carefully selected from the best beef on the market today. And not only is it the best grade of beef available, it's also priced for real thrift. So be sure to visit your Kroger store soon, the only place you can buy it, and get Kroger quality beef. It's deliciously tasty and tender, and it's available now at your Kroger store. And now, Hearts in Harmony. The fact that Penny Gibbs won't say exactly what she's doing for her employer, wealthy and mysterious Mrs. Carrie Carlton, has her friends worried. Fearing Penny may actually be in trouble, Freddie Lang has followed her on her first secret errand for the wealthy woman. Several hours later, Penny's doorbell rings, and Nora answers it.
Hello there. You remember me?
Oh, Mr. Gibbs, hello.
Well, how are you, Nora?
Oh, just fine, Mr. Gibbs. And your little baby daughter is just super.
Well, in your care, Nora, I'm sure she is.
Oh, thank you, sir. How's New York City?
Oh, it's cold.
Oh, cricket's hot or cold. It must be just super to live in New York City. I want to go there someday.
Well, it's a nice place to have a good time in, Nora.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really a little too big for a steady diet. I prefer it right here in Rossville.
Oh, I guess I'd be just scared to death in the city, wouldn't I?
Oh, I don't know about that, Nora. You don't look as if you're scared too easily. Oh, is my sister home?
Oh, no, she's not, Mr. Gibbs. She has a job now, you know.
No, I didn't know that. Oh, when did this happen?
Oh, crickets, I guess Miss Gibbs hasn't been able to write to you about it yet. She got the job only a couple of days ago.
Well, where's she working? Maybe I can run down to her office and surprise her. She thinks I'm still in New York. Where's her office?
I don't know, Mr. Gibbs.
You don't know?
No, sir. You see, I don't think she has an office.
Oh, I see. Oh, what kind of a job is it?
Crickets, Mr. Gibbs, you'll think I'm awfully dumb or something, but I don't know that either.
You don't know what kind of work she does?
Mm-mm.
Well, that's funny. It isn't like Penny to be secretive about a thing like a job.
I think she has to be, Mr. Gibbs.
Has to be, Nora.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just what does this mean?
Well, it's awfully confusing, Mr. Gibbs, and I guess maybe you're not going to like it, but Miss Gibbs made me promise not to tell anybody anything about her job.
What? What's going on here?
I don't know, Mr. Gibbs. It's all very mysterious. Of course, I think it's just super exciting, but everybody else is so serious about it, I guess I'm just sort of showing how young I am.
Look, Nora, now let me get this straight. Penny has a job.
Yes.
She's working for someone.
Uh-huh.
She gets paid for what she does.
Oh, crickets, yes, and it's just lots of money, I think.
She has a job, she has an employer, she's paid.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know who she works for or what she does.
No, Mr. Gibbs. Nobody does.
Why not?
Miss Gibbs won't tell. She told us that the person she's working
her
for...
employer is a woman.
Oh, I almost told, didn't I? Oh, please, Mr. Gibbs, don't ask me who she is. I promised Miss Gibbs I wouldn't tell. Please don't make me.
Well, don't worry, Nora, I won't. I'll find out what I want to know from Penny.
Oh, golly, she may not tell you anything either.
Oh, I think she will. Penny and I have a sort of understanding. We just don't keep secrets from one another.
But, Mr. Gibbs, I think Miss Gibbs has to keep this secret.
Why?
Well, as I started to say, the person... Well, I guess I can say lady. You know she works for a lady.
Yeah?
Well, this lady she works for made her promise not to tell anybody anything.
Are you serious?
Cross my heart. Miss Gibbs said this lady warned her never to tell anyone what she was doing or who she was working for or anything like that.
Well, then how does it happen that you know who she's working for?
Oh, she told me before this lady told her not to tell even who she was working for, I guess.
Oh. Well, I don't like any part of this. There's nothing at all right about it. People just don't have secrets about their job. Well, unless there's something wrong.
Freddie thinks there is something wrong, Mr. Gibbs.
He does?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where is Freddie? Down in his office?
No, he doesn't work for Mr. Billings anymore. He and my daddy are opening a dairy together.
A dairy?
Uh-huh. Oh, you didn't know about that, did you?
No.
I guess I was too new to tell things about myself before you went away. But, you see, Daddy owns a big farm that used to be the finest dairy in this part of the state.
Oh, I see. And your father and Freddie are opening it again?
Yes. They got the money from the bank, and they've bought 2 delivery trucks, and 4 men who know all about dairies are coming to work for them pretty soon. And in a few weeks, they're going to have cows.
Well, I should think so. Cows are rather useful around a dairy, aren't they?
Freddie says being a cow is the easiest job of all at a dairy. All you have to do is eat.
And be happy. Well, where's Freddie now? Out at your dad's farm?
No, I was just going to tell you. He's following Miss Gibbs.
Following Penny? Well, why?
Well, I told you, Mr. Gibbs, he's worried about her. See, she had to go on an errand for this lady she works for, and she wouldn't say where she was going or what she was going to do. So Freddie said he was going to follow her and see if he could find out. I guess it wasn't right to do, was it?
Oh, no, I don't see anything wrong with it. In fact, I'm glad he did. I don't like the idea of Penny doing something she can't talk about. It has an unhealthy sound to it.
And it isn't exciting, Mr. Gibbs?
Oh, it's all right for mystery thrillers and movies, Nora. But things like this in real life don't always have a happy ending.
You mean Miss Gibbs is in real danger? Oh, golly, no.
Well, I hope not, Nora. But there are a lot of things going on in this world that the average person doesn't know about. We think this is a civilized world we live in. We tell ourselves this is the 20th century, and the horrors and intrigues of the Dark Ages don't exist anymore. That's where we're wrong. There are strange things going on all over the world today, right now, this morning. And Rossville is not immune to what goes on in the rest of the world.
Oh, gee, Mr. Gibbs, you give me the shivers.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nora, I didn't mean to. There's nothing to worry about, and a person who minds his own business stays out of trouble. But it's when you start minding other people's business and going out on secret missions that you expose yourself to serious involvement. And that's what I'm afraid my sister is doing now.
Oh, but maybe she isn't.
No, maybe she isn't, but then maybe she is. If there were nothing wrong with what she's doing, why does it have to be so secret? Why can't she come right out and say...
Hi, Nora.
Oh, golly, Freddie, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, well, so am I. Well, hello there, Mr. G. How are
hello, Freddie.
you? I sure didn't figure on seeing you when I walked in the door. Tell me, how's my old hometown?
The city's just the same, Freddie.
Well, that's too bad. You know, I was hoping maybe it got a little higher class since I left it. But I guess the
Freddie,
town's like...
Nora told me you've been following Penny this afternoon.
Oh, she did, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did, Freddie. But honestly, I didn't tell anything I shouldn't have.
I know you didn't, kid. It's okay to tell him what I was doing because I was going to tell him myself.
You know something to tell, Freddie?
Well, no, not much I don't, but I don't like what's going on, Mr. G. And it's a good thing you're here, too, because, well, maybe you can talk Gibbsy into tossing over this job of hers.
Well, I'm going to do my best. Nora wouldn't tell me who she's working for. Will you?
Well, sure.
Freddie?
She's working...
Miss Gibbs asked us not to tell.
Oh, it's okay for Mr. G to know about it, Nora. After all, he's Gibbsy's brother. And he ain't going to crack about it if I tell him not to.
No, I promise the secret will stay with me, Freddie. Who is she working for?
She's working for a rich old dame named Carrie Carlton.
Freddie, you shouldn't.
Oh, it's okay, Nora. I figure Mr. G can help us make Gibbsy wake up and see she's heading for trouble working for this Carlton dame.
Carlton.
Yeah.
Carrie Carlton. Oh, is she the very wealthy woman who lives in that Castle Oak house in Glen Cove?
That's the very same dame.
Well, I'm certainly glad to know that.
Then it's all right to work for her, Mr. Gibbs?
Not from what I hear about Mrs. Carlton, Nora. I understand she's just about the cruelest, most underhanded woman who ever had $1 million.
She really has $1 million?
Many millions, Nora. And just as many enemies. Oh, so Penny's working for Carrie Carlton, is she?
Uh-huh.
And Mrs. Carlton won't let Penny say what she's doing. Well, this isn't good at all.
In fact, it's bad, Mr. G. You know, I followed her around for about 3 hours this afternoon, and I couldn't find out a thing.
Where'd she go, Freddie?
Well, first she went to a house on C Street where all the shades were pulled down.
The shades were pulled down, Freddie?
Yeah. Big fat man opened up the door for her, and I could see into the house for a minute.
Yeah.
It was dark as a coal bin inside.
No lights on in the house.
No. But I guess there was some lights inside, but I couldn't see them anyway. And I waited outside the house for about 10 minutes. And then in another minute, I was just going into that joint after her because I was getting scared, see? But, well, she just came out.
The big fat man brought her to the door?
No, Nora, she came out all by herself.
Huh?
I didn't see no one let her out at all. And then Gibbsy got in her car and she drove to a place over on Larchmont Avenue. And then she went into a little cottage over there. Little kid about so high opens up the door for Gibbsy, and then in a minute or two, somebody pulls the shades down, and the windows are all blocked off in the front of the house.
Somebody saw you in front?
The shades went down?
Yeah, and it wasn't because anybody seen me either, because nobody came to the windows at all. Just all of a sudden, the shades went down, just like that. I couldn't see the hand that did it.
Well, how long was Penny in this second house?
Oh, about 5 minutes. Couldn't have been no more. And she got in the car again.
Crickets, where did she go then?
I don't know, Nora. She headed downtown. I followed her for a while, and then I lost her in traffic.
Well, she must have noticed you were following her, Freddie.
Yeah, I guess maybe she did. All I had to follow her in was one of the trucks from the dairy, and they're painted white. Guess I'll just have to rent a car if I want to find her anymore.
Hi, everybody. Oh, Pat. Oh, Pat. What a surprise.
Oh, hello, sis. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fine. How are you?
Oh, glad to see you.
Oh, I'm glad to see you, too. Golly. Any news?
Oh, you mean about Suzanne?
Uh-huh.
No, not a trace of her. Came back just for a date to see my baby. Just couldn't stay away any longer.
Oh, I'm glad you could. I've been meaning to write to you. Well, hey, what's the matter here? Why is everybody so glum?
Well, maybe you want to hit me on the head for this, Gibbsy, but to my way of figuring, your own brother has a right to know.
To know what, Freddie?
That you're working for that Carrie Carlton dame.
Oh, Freddie.
Penny, now, don't be angry with Freddie, please. Or with Nora either. Neither one of them told me anything I shouldn't know.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't, but why the glum faces? Look, certainly working for Carrie Carlton
I
shouldn't-
don't think you should be working for her, Penny.
And why not?
Because you can't tell us what you're doing.
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Look, Penny, I happen to know you went on an errand for Mrs. Carlton just this afternoon.
I told Freddie and Nora about that, Pat. In fact, I just finished it.
Well, where'd you go,
I
Penny?
can't tell you.
Look, Gibbsy, I followed you in a couple of places
Freddie, you had no
today,
right to follow me.
I think he did, Penny. I wish he'd been able to follow you all afternoon. He lost you in traffic downtown.
Oh, he did,
Yes. And I want to know where you went after that, and just what you're doing for Mrs. Carlton.
I'm sorry, Pat, but I can't tell you.
So Penny can't even tell her own brother the nature of her work for Carrie Carlton. What is she doing for the aged woman? Why must she move about in secret? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. Lady, we'd like to have a private word with you. There's something important we want you to know about beef, and it's this. The best beef that's available on today's market is Kroger Quality Beef. Yes, Kroger Quality Beef is deliciously tender and juicy, and it's your 100% correct answer to what shall I have for dinner. Now is the time to serve the dinner that's sure to please everybody. Now is the time to thrill your folks with a delicious beef dinner. Surprise them by serving boiled beef with a tangy horseradish sauce to enhance the goodness of savory meat. Delight them with roast beef that's crusty brown and juicy red. Or satisfy those vigorous appetites with a magnificently thick steak. Soon as you can, visit your Kroger store and get Kroger Quality Beef. And remember, Kroger Quality Beef is the very best beef you can buy today. Now your local announcer.